Gravy, baby.
Welcome to Gravy, baby. What's up, my little gravy babies, my gravy boats, my gravy babies?
Beer, cheers! My babies, my little biscuit bitches, my babies, my gravy babies. Oh, my little babies. Can I start off on, huh? What'd you say?
I said Happy Cinco de Mayo, but I'm just drinking beer.
Oh, nice. It's nowhere near. I was like, damn, did I travel through time? There's gigs I missed. Fuck. Can I start off on an earnest note?
Please.
Okay.
Did he go?
No. Finally got out.
Okay, before you get started, as long as it's not another I Love Cop rant, and it's not that I'm mad at you for doing that one, it's just a 2 in 1 month, I can't do it.
Yeah, no. This is actually about you. So unless you've become a cop in the last, I don't know, a week or two that I've fucking spoke to you. This is a you situation. I had a hankering for a very specific Mexican dish, and I was looking for it. And I started thinking about the last time, few times I had Mexican, and I've had Mexican before, but I was the one that came up, like a memory came up. It activated a memory when we went to Casa Vega and got day drunk and ate shitty Mexican food. And it was so fucking rad. And it genuinely filled me with I missed you so much this morning. Truly. I was just like, man, with the time that we lived in the same place, we didn't hang out all the time. But man, every single time was a goddamn banger, dude. Every fucking time. We had a good time.
That was such a good time. That was such a fun, interesting, weird, ridiculous play. There's no way it's there in 10 years. You know what I mean?
So much so that when we were moving away, Bobby had never been. I was like, I have to take you. It's not the best Mexican food, but it is like a quintessential Los Angeles Mexican food. I have to take you to it. And the most Los Angeles thing happened to us while we were there. We were sat next to 2 tables of white people. One of them was a dude complaining that the chicks on the yacht were not hot enough. One old, hideous dude was saying this. And then the second one was a table full of bros who were rating how hot the chicks were at the different AA meetings. Okay, it was the most Los Angeles experience.
The AA meeting ranking?
Yeah, he was like, okay, but like Santa Monica has like really sweet chickies there. Like you should definitely go to the Santa Monica meeting. But like the WeHo ones are like, they're like really pretty, but they're like really stuck up. Like it was totally like, I couldn't have written a script more Los Angeles than what happened at fucking Casa Vega.
I wasn't
for him to watch this. So Bobby's sitting there just looking at me like, what the fuck is happening? And I was like, yeah, right? Yeah.
Cinco de Mayo. Happy Cinco de Mayo, Bobby. I was weirdly... Sorry, I had a Cinco de Mayo burp.
Nice.
I weirdly got... How do I want to frame this? I was like, oh no, about the AA guys.
Mm-hmm.
They're definitely better people with more of a, not that anyone has a right to speak about women as objects that way, but just like, I'm going to let it slide more because you beat heroin, and what else are you going to talk about now? But what happened when you were telling the story was the reverse of that. Yeah. I was like, not at all offended the yacht guys were doing that, because it's like, yeah, I mean, they probably fuck kids. This is the least of our worries. They're definitely raping them. You know what I mean? I'm like, oh, well, those dudes raped the environment. They were on a yacht. They're the worst people alive. They're raping the environment. They're stealing grandma's pension legally. They're rewriting laws through their super PAC. Well, of course, they're talking about the women on the yacht, and also hopefully the women on the yacht are getting paid well. But it should. But he was
saying this to like his family. It was really weird. There was like a family, like there was an older woman and like her daughter, and then like another lead. I know, I had to leave it.
But I'm mad at myself. I'm saying you did that, and I was like, "Yep, that's what them dudes do." And then you told me the AA story, and I was like, "Oh man, I wish they'd have been cooler than that." But truthfully, the AA guys in my heart are better dudes, because You shouldn't be talking about how hot the chickies are at Santa Monica versus North Hollywood.
I also buried the lead on them. They got worse. It was definitely a table of dry drunks. You know what I mean?
Dry drunks.
Same. So it wasn't the alcohol wasn't the problem. You were the problem.
Asshole.
You were making alcohol look bad.
Yeah. Well, you got like a real demon inside you, and the thing, whatever happened to you when you were younger, you decided to take it out on the world. Alcohol kind of made you nicer for about a year, so you stuck with it, and then, I hate that.
There was one dude that was like maybe in his early 40s, and the rest of them were like in their 20s, and he was like trying to bro up with them. And then the grossest part of it, outside of them just objectifying women and being, I guess, just LA dudes, was that they started dick measuring about how close they got to someone who almost died, like who is still on stuff. So it'd be like, oh, well, my friend Cloud from El Segundo, like he was fucking, I mean, if I hadn't called somebody, like he would have been dead. And I was like, oh yeah, I pulled the needle out of my buddy. It was like the weirdest dick measuring I'd ever seen in my life. Happening over enchiladas. Yeah, it was really
it's that LA one-upman game. And it's so funny to think about it happening with
It's a table full of dry narcissists. That's all it was. And so it was, to me, it was like, I couldn't have asked for a more Los Angeles parting gift to Bobby to be like, let's go have an LA experience. Let's go to the hacky Mexican place, Casa Vega. We'll get okay Mexican food, cheap margaritas, and then the people around us will be the most stereotypical Los Angeles people I've ever seen. It was so glorious.
Did you get really day drunk?
A little bit. We got loose.
Yeah, man, I love a day drunk. I don't want to change topics, but day drunk is a good segue. But I want to just pause for a second, I guess.
We need to talk about the festival.
Just setting this like idea of like the LA story war or what, you know what I mean? Like you're just hanging out and it's like people one up at each other.
Mm-hmm.
How do people not recognize pretty quickly that doesn't work?
I don't know. Maybe a lack of self-awareness.
It's a performance, right?
I imagine so. Well, the other thing is, on the neurospicy side, if you tell me a story about something, I will tell you a story that relates to that. And is like, oh, I understand that. But the difference is it's not a competition. There isn't any ego in it. But I feel like these dudes were trying to be better than each other. Yeah. Almost as if like the social clout or something like that. So I feel like...
So I guess I can empathize with that to some extent. Trey and I met years ago. Like the third time we hung out, we caught ourselves in what we now call a red off with Jeff Blank, who you also know. Jeff Blank's from Rockwood, Tennessee. I'm from Summer, Tennessee. Trey's from Salina, Tennessee. And it started out as like a sort of bonding. It was great. Like, I rarely meet somebody from a place as fucked up. Like people say they get it, but they don't. But you really get it, man. Mm-hmm. I mean, you know how it is. My town.
Blah, 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 blah.
And then you fast forward 35 minutes and Trey's telling this gnarly story about the chick he took to prom. His uncle murdered her uncle when they were 20, but then fast forward 20 years, he's taking her, you know what I mean? And Jeff Blank's like, God damn. And I'm like, well, brother, wait till you hear this one. And, maybe I've told you this before. Obviously, you know about my brother, but what you may not know is the man that he killed was once upon a time married to one of my mom's sisters, like many years. Yeah. Yeah. And my dad was going to kill a guy at a party, like had his gun, was loading it because he'd gotten beaten up. And this guy stopped my dad from doing it. And then 30 years later, my dad's son murdered it. Anyway, I won the red off. So I guess I like understand, like,
I think that's more like fishing stories.
Or like, sincerely attach your personality to anything.
Mm-hmm.
There can be a sort of like, now I'm going to prove it. But it's kind of sad to think about your personality being so attached to being sober and like being a fuck up before. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. My favorite people who have recovered, I can think of 3 people in my life who are very close to me. 2 of them, it almost never comes up. Mm-hmm. And the other one's right in the middle of it. And I truly believe 2 years from now, it won't come up with him. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
because it's not part of them. It was a thing that was making them worse,
yes.
is making the problem worse. Whereas I feel like like what we're talking about, there's a difference where people who are bad in alcohol, alcohol was not the thing that made it bad. They were already bad and they're blaming it on alcohol, but it was them. I mean, it's ultimately it's always them. It's always something that happened to them, et cetera, et cetera. Like, I'm not trying to shit on anybody in recovery, but I know anyone in recovery knows exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. It's so niche and specific, and I think everyone has seen one at a meeting somewhere or in a space like that where it becomes, and I think it happens a lot of times with people who are young in recovery. So I'm expecting it more from the guys who are in their 20s, and talking about doing heroin in their 16, 17, whatever, than the guy who was like 39 trying to keep up with the guys in their 20s. Like, to me, the older guy was more sad than anything.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's also probably something, especially when you're young and that's what you went through, and then you haven't done much since and you're working on the next phase of your life.
Mm-hmm.
There is something in that world. There's a thing they share. I know this from going to meetings with my brother.
Mm-hmm.
They do share this sort of bond of the world doesn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
We've been to hell and back.
Yeah.
And I think that helps them get through.
Mm-hmm.
But if you do that, that almost has to create a world inside that world of who's been to the most hell and back.
Right. It's still to me, that's still the narcissism of needing to feel special.
Yep.
When in the whole point of all this is to be like, it's not,
right.
None of us are special. We're all special. None of us are unique. We're all unique. All of that. It's
the
like,
only pushback I'll give you is that's not just for narcissists. I think, especially when you're young, especially when you've done very little with your life because of the drugs or the alcohol.
Right, because it's taken so much of your life, right?
I think a lot of people are looking for anything to feel special. I think we all are. I don't think that's just narcissists. I think we all want to feel special. But it is like so insanely immature that the way you feel special is like, I saw my friend die.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm just trying to empathize.
I get that. I didn't know we were going to unpack their shit. I just thought it was just very funny to me that the place that we went and day drunk that was so fun, I was like, oh, that'll be a fun LA thing to bring you to before we leave town. And then we go, and it is the most Los Angeles experience imaginable.
I'm really glad
I picked more hacky people.
Yeah. I'm really glad that I have friends like you to talk me up too, because I realize the listening experience right now is a bunch of people hearing you say how fun I am at a Mexican restaurant, and then me make the story so unbelievably unfun basically immediately.
Yeah.
So thank you, and thank you for thinking of me. That's awesome, man. I thought about that day about 2 weeks ago when we thought Quentin Tarantino died in Israel. He did not. But the world thought that for a minute, and then I was remembering that because that's in one of his movies. Maybe
they must have had him confused with not Netanyahu.
Yeah,
Pennsylvania's own Netanyahu.
Yeah, Pennsylvania's own. That's so funny. Pennsylvania's own Benjamin Netanyahu. God, we should bring him up like that all the time. Where they used to do Barack Hussein Obama, and just start doing that with Pennsylvania's own Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah.
Good times. Well, I'm glad you thought of me, friend.
Absolutely.
I got day drunk this weekend. Shout out to
I was going to say, please tell us about the festival. You were part of a super fun festival in Nolans.
It was the most fun I've ever had at a festival, I think. And that might just be because of been around a long time.
Shouldn't have left you without a dope beat to step two. Sorry, you activated my echolalia. Please go.
It could just be coincidence. It could be the town, New Orleans, my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But I also want to give the comics credit. And then therefore I have to give the booker credit. Andrew, who runs Sports Drink, and he's opening up a new venue soon. If you're in or near New Orleans, go support live comedy. Man, just
in
I
that
saw
town,
huh?
For being in that town, also for being such a party town, like a nightlife place, it has been a desert of specifically stand-up comedy. I remember a span of like 10 years where there wasn't even a shitty gig there. Like there was nothing. And so for it to not only be there, but to be so good. I mean, Andrew's always like really loved comedy to a point that maybe even to a detriment. I mean, I don't think he would disagree with that, but to a point, being a proper purist, you know.
Yeah.
Please tell me about your experience. Sorry, I'll stop talking.
No, I mean, it's honestly a good segue, because I was just going to say, I think, though, the reason it was so fun is there were just so many really, really good comedians who, if comedy had genres, we might be all over the map. But if you're just talking about like having a core or an essence in terms of how you approach life and or stand-up, I think the overlap, it was like one of those where it was like, man, Ian Carmel, Dave Borey, Laura Peak, Drew Morgan, best-selling, do all have something in common. And it's like kind of the way we're approaching comedy in life, and it just really resonated. I mean, most of the fans there were all Fantasy Everything fans or best-selling fans on Sunday. And I had so much fun, and I had fun hanging out with Laura Peak. And shout out to the fans who came out. Shout out to Sarah, who brought me a fucking, I meant to bring it with me, a Jerry Clower vinyl. Because I've talked about my grandma listening to Jerry Clower, and her grandma had listened to Jerry Clower. Her mama came out. Shout out to Amy, who come out. I met like 7 more people, but those are the 2 that I hung out with the most. Also, I feel okay saying this because Amy referenced it. Amy happens to be a black woman, and she was like, I know you think you ain't got any of us, but we're out here. And I was like, oh, yeah.
God bless Amy.
She works at the school, bless her heart. She don't get out much. That's also what she said. She had a great time. But what got me started on this is I pulled too many day drunks, Carmen. There was a day where I pulled 2 day drunks.
2 in a day? That's
I got
wild.
drunk, took a nap, woke up, and got drunk again before the sun went down. Which, to be fair, wasn't hard, because 2 Miller Lights, and I was like, I'm back.
I'm back. Exactly. Yeah, I think it'd be different if you took like how long was the nap?
I don't remember. You shouldn't ask.
That's like a pause. That's a pause button, I feel like. If it wasn't more than 4 hours, that's not 2 full days. That was a pause. You put a pause button on that.
I mean, I've never heard of pausing a drunk, but I guess that is what it is. I paused a drunk, and then I came back to my game. When you pause it and you got to go to your grandma's and you come back 4 hours later and you're like, there's no way it's still going to be on. My mom fucked with it, or my brother. And then you get there and you're like, it's still on. With my drunk.
I still got it, baby. I still got it.
I did some drugs and it was nice.
Yay.
And I slept most nights, which is impossible for me on a trip like that. And I watched basketball and I ate amazing food, and this is a good thing, but it's very funny. Like, it still didn't really work. I still just wanted to be with my kid. Like, that's a very interesting thing. I had the most fun I know how to have without like dying or cheating on my wife. And I still was just like, I wonder
what Rosie's doing.
I kind of want to just go home. I was really home.
I want to get a little pinch on that cheeky. Cheek pinch.
You get off stage and people you looked up to for many years are like, holy shit, dude, that was fucking great. You killed. Here's a beer. You want to get high? And you're like, oh my God, this is the greatest night of my life. I want to live forever, but I'd just rather go home. Jerry Clower on vinyl. What a beautiful, like, it genuinely made me emotional too, because that guy who gave it to me, we have like a story that I will repeat on the pod. She knows what I'm talking about. We have a story from Austin where I think I sort of accidentally made her partner dump her.
Oh, shit.
But then she's like, well, I dodged a bullet anyway. This is only tangentially related, but I want to tell you one more thing about lesbians in New Orleans, different lesbians. But
not the one you married?
Man, I got a lot of New Orleans lesbian stories, huh?
You do. It seems like it. I don't know if they bring it out in you or you bring it out in them. I can't tell.
I'm starting to think it's the latter, Carmen. Okay. I have this joke. It's really fun and it's really good. And it's about being at Pride with Andy. And then it trails into this part that I borrowed from a joke I couldn't get to work. The joke I couldn't get to work was about a gaggle of lesbians adopting me at a tailgate at the Cleveland Brown football game because I had on a Dolly Parton shirt.
Mm-hmm.
And that joke was about like, you get too close to them, you'll find out how toxic they are.
Oh yeah, I remember us talking about this
right
eons ago. I think on the podcast where it was like the toxic masculinity on the butch when you're like you're like, wait a second, this isn't progressive. Yeah. And then you start broing up with these women. Yeah. Right. I remember. Mm-hmm.
So that couldn't get that joke to work, but I have this great joke about being at Pride with Andy and her getting hit on. And then I pull some lines from there talking about how toxic lesbians can be, but now in the context of them hitting on my wife, and it totally works.
Mm-hmm.
And then that, like, as it always does when there's any in the crowd, the lesbians wanted to come fuck with me. And I enjoyed them very much. And we were hanging out and like they were talking about their businesses. And I don't want to go any further than that because, and this goes back to the first joke that I couldn't get to work. They got too comfortable. Carmen.
Dude, I can attest to this too because remember when we did that Don't Tell in San Diego at that candy shop and that was owned by the lesbians and then we ended up in their loft? Mm-hmm. And then they started getting real comfortable too.
So they started getting comfortable. One leans in and is just like, I'm a turf.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No.
See, I thought it was gonna be fun, bro. And I was like, what?
No.
And the other one's like, no, you're not. You're using that word wrong.
Oh my God. Not ignorant and an asshole.
I don't think she was an asshole. Maybe she is.
Mm.
I think she hates men. And because it seemed to be, this is so fucked up, but it's so funny, Carmen. And I'm sorry, everyone listening, I'm just laughing at the ignorance of the world. It seems to me that the upshot was like, I can't stand trans women until they actually completely transition.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so it's like I hate men so much I don't even like men transitioning into women because I just still there's still men residue.
Like, this is how exceptional you are. I hate men. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And then it was like, I even hate men that are women until they fully become women. Like, but it was not explained to me. It was almost like she was running a half bit.
Yeah, she was running a bit
like
by
you.
You
See Robbie Hoffman pulling this off.
Mm-hmm.
But instead it was like, I'm a turf. And I was like, oh, okay.
Well, that's awful.
And their wife was like, no, you're not. You just hate men. And she was like, yeah, but they're not men. And she was like, right. And that makes you toxic. And thank you for admitting that. But that's not what you meant.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's just so nice when the masks come off in any direction for me. Even when like an old boy's being racist, I hate it. But I'm like, you trust me, dog. There's this pure trust on this airplane dropping this on me.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway.
I mean, it's unfortunate that those are the things that are being trusted with you. Like, you'll be okay if I tell you this.
Well, again, and I could be off about this. Yeah, well, with the old boys, it's the teeth and the accent. I used to try and do a bit about having rested in racist face, but I feel like it became kind of hack. But like, with this particular, I'm just proud that I was in the club. I hope they're not listening. I'm sure they're not. I hope they're not because I don't want to be out of the club. But also, I genuinely think it was someone who's toxic enough not to be paying attention to them words, trying to express to me that they hated men, which is still like a fucked up way to frame. It's a really fucked up way to frame that, but it was funny. Like, it was funny to me that this butch lesbian who was telling me this on the street, like, yo, you can trust him. Look at him.
Actually, that context even makes it funnier. So it's a woman who is masculine presenting, being like, I hate men until they're completely femme.
I might be wrong, but I think she referenced chopping her boobs off. So, like, yeah.
Gotcha.
But again, I think she was trying to make a half joke of like, this is how much I hate men. I can't even stand trans women until they get there.
Yeah.
Which is a much funnier way to frame it than what she said.
Yes. Yeah, of course.
And I mean, it is funny. Oh, I know why they said that. Let me not play the role of the guy who wasn't also being problematic. Okay, I want everyone to know when I told them this, they were making complaints about folks in their community. And I was like, all right, safe space. Here's one for you. And I'd love to hear our fans' reaction to this, actually. When a man presents as me in the last 3 or 4 years, comes out as they, them, doesn't dress different, doesn't date any different, there is a part of me where I'm going, man, you just want to get out of this tongue lashing. You just wanted to get pussy from girls with fucking nose rings. Like, I just don't know if I'm giving you to some of you, maybe. But I feel like sometimes you're like, yeah, we always knew.
But I thought, but that's different.
You're waiting on something to explain what you got going on. But sometimes I'm like, no, you sit down on this bench beside me and take your lashing, your tongue lashing. You sit down here with me as a straight white cis male and you take your fucking talking to.
Right. Well, I think there's also a confusion between trans and gender fluid / I think that, so there's like muddiness there where I think people don't really understand the difference. And not only that, but also there's so many behind closed doors. And this actually applies to you have a joke about it that's way more positive than the criticism I'm doing, where you're talking about like Annie's with you, but Annie's bi. And I was like, a lot of women with male boyfriends are constantly trying to get booked on queer shows. And that was the other thing too. This butch lesbian feels like this is like a gay versus queer thing, where queer is like, everything's cool, I don't give a fuck, whatever you want. That's the queerness is where the cool freedom part comes in. Whereas like if you want to go in the gay part of it, where it's just people that aren't straight, then it's like, then there's still all these weird like kind of rules. It's almost like trying to get people on board at where everybody else, especially young people, are at now, trying to get old people who are in the LGBTQ in that community along with like, yeah, but this is way cooler, this is way more free. You're still policing each other, which is unnecessary, and that's like hindering the freedom part of it. Just to get all that out of the way, definitely knew a lot of chicks who never acted or said that they were bi or anything like that starting to say shit like that to get booked on queer shows. And to me, it was just like, I mean, I remember being like, hey, I fuck chicks too, but I'm not trying to steal a spot from a cool queer kid that wants to do stand-up. You know what I'm saying?
Girlfriend like a real man.
I'm not, listen, it's not my fault their girlfriend be looking at me, dog. It's not my fault.
No. I mean, you do wear them glasses and that cute little shirt. I just, and honestly, I didn't even mean to get into like, you know.
No, I know, but it was fun to see the example of it.
So far from being able to call myself queer, nor would I. So it's like, I know it's not my play, but first of all, it was just funny, and I'm ruining it now. Any lesbian listeners like, well, we're never going to trust that guy again. But it was just so funny.
I don't know. Get you a couple Modelos in. You might.
It was just so funny to be so trusted that I didn't just, it wasn't just like the positive stuff. I started getting the negative. It's like, that keeps happening to me and I kind of like it. I want to know about what y'all really think.
But what you're talking about is reminiscent to me of when white men started getting the tongue lashing, white women trying to separate themselves from them, like they didn't also own slaves. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was like very, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
And we all know a straight white guy who will see a bitch doing something and be like, I'm about to do that. And I'm saying that I really feel like there was a time period, and this is what I was saying to them, it was relevant to something. I was like, I do feel like there was a time period where there was a few times, and maybe it was more prevalent in the entertainment industry, where I'm like, okay, suddenly now that white guys are out, and we were out for a while. We're back. We're back, baby. Yeah. I'm acknowledging that. But we were out for a while. You got to admit. I saw some people jumping ship, and I was like, I just don't know, brother. Like, you say you're they, them, and then you changed and now do nothing different. It doesn't feel like you heard that and thought, finally, thank God, I've been wondering how to explain myself. Finally, I found home. It felt more like, here's a way out of this. Anyway, that's a dumb complaint. It was just a thought I had that related to what they were saying, and apparently it opened up the world to me with them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the whole thing about being comfort. You know, that's when they're like, it's the equivalent of you being able to go to the barbecue, and now I could talk shit about people at the barbecue, you know?
You mean like the black barbecue? I hate
But
that.
it would be this would be the
There's
queer
nothing
one.
I hate more than you get one fucking invite to the barbecue, and now that's the Andrew Schultz. Fuck the Andrew Schultz route. It's like Andrew Schultz. Me and Dave Bory were just talking about this. It's the perfect example of like you get on Charlemagne the God show, and now you feel like you can express all this stuff you've been harboring deep in your heart about fucking black people who aren't a monolith. It's almost like you resent them for being more than the entertaining thing you thought they were. It's almost like, oh my God, I love black people, and what you mean is I love hip hop. And then when a black guy calls me the N-word, it makes me feel cool. And then you get to know some black people, and they're not what you wanted them to be. And now you're like resenting Adam 22, perfect example.
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, that guy started out as someone who was like, I just love rap music so much. And then the community embraced him because of that. And now his whole thing is like a fucking circus. He's like Kill Tony for rappers.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. Truly. But I mean, I guess that to me, that's also like a more subtle racism in that because then it's just like black people aren't what you expected them to be. That means they have to be the thing that you made them up in your brain. And I feel like it's the same thing with queer people.
Yeah, it's that pedestal ass racism. Yeah, and I don't think I've ever had queer people on a pedestal. I am saying it's fun to get that validated. It's fun to be like, man, if I can do it, I knew you bitches had that in you.
But they're smart enough not to start a podcast and talk about it.
I know it's going to get back to them. I don't think it'd be hard for some people who may listen to this to figure out, and then, hey, yeah, it's going to get back to them. But I mean, I can live with that. You did say that.
You didn't say who. I think you're fine. I think we're probably overthinking it, but it's also not.
I'm genuinely not worried.
Well, not only that, but it's genuinely a thing I've heard. I've heard that as well.
Yeah.
And I always try to be like, okay, well, I think maybe you're misunderstanding what's happening here. That's to me, that's the teachable moment, right? That's the point where you can change a heart and a mind. So
I misunderstand what's happening here all the time, though. I think that's another thing that's exciting. It's like when something's that cut and dry, I'm also like, I know what's happening here. That's part of why I feel good about this.
Were they older? How do you not know what turf means? That's hilarious, though, to get reprimanded.
I think they know what it means. I think they know what it means. And I would say they harbor some resentment. And I think more women than will admit this harbor some resentment of like, so you remember most of your life, and now that you're a woman, I have to pretend like you've had the same experience as me. And to be fair, a lot of trans women will acknowledge that. They'll be like, no, like my life was but it was hard for different reasons. You know what I mean? I don't think they didn't know what it meant. I think it was just more like you're exaggerating how you feel because you aren't a trans exclusionary radical feminist. Isn't that what it stands for? Yeah. You are actually just someone who hates some trans women because you think they're still acting like men. Because they come into your space and they take it. It's like, you just hate a narcissist. We've all met one or two of those. Don't take it out.
Exactly. Yeah. I met a few of them at a Casa Vega one time.
I've always thought that'd be a good premise for a bit that I couldn't get to work, which is just like the internet's made us now known by our assholes, and it's kind of unfair to everyone. Like every group gets represented by the unvoted for worst version. Because the internet promotes that, you know? Yeah.
It sucks. Did you have anything about the world you wanted to mention?
No.
It's been
I don't think anything happened.
No?
Just kidding. I saw ICE at the airport. The first day they were there, I was there.
Okay, I genuinely did want to ask you about that.
They weren't doing anything. It was like 4 a.m. because I got there.
That's kind of the worst part, I imagine. I mean, I don't want them to be doing anything, obviously, because what they do is fucking gnarly. But at the same time, the juxtaposition of you being at work, not getting paid to do your actual job, and having people get paid to be at your work not doing a job is got to be fucking brutal.
Yeah, we were talking about that on Will Red. I made that point. I was like, it's the ultimate, the boss's son is here to tell us how to do this. He gets paid more than us. Someone made some version of this joke on the internet that I love. It's something like, I think they're doing a great job they're there to help TSA make sure no terrorists get on the airplanes, and I haven't seen any of them fly yet, so I think they're keeping the terrorists off the airplanes.
Yeah.
I think I worded
The
it
terrorists
better.
are just there standing around. They're just staring around.
If you see something, say something. I'm seeing something.
Yes, I see a bunch of terrorists wearing vests.
What am I supposed to say it to?
Yeah, not them. They don't like it when you tell them.
It was older dudes. It was a lot more minorities than I expected. Black and Latino. And it was a few young dudes. It didn't look like the ones we've seen. I feel like you can almost like volunteer to go to Minneapolis. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like there was it might just be like cameras and having all the gear on you and a gun in your hand, but it didn't feel like it looked like what I'm used to.
Uh-huh.
They all looked like bored and miserable.
Yeah. Well, that's the whole thing is morale's at an all-time low there.
Good.
Right.
Drop it
Yeah,
lower.
good. No, drop it low.
There
But
was
yeah.
a guy who called them pussies loud enough for them to hear near me, and that was cool.
Nice.
Like, he said it to one of us, but
Mhm.
like they heard it,
Yeah.
and they're pussies.
Yeah, no. They know. That's why they didn't say shit.
Did you see Iran dropping 2 of the hottest fucking AI videos in the history of the world back to back?
No.
One's like a music video, sort of, and I can't explain it. I'm just gonna.
I think I saw one, but I couldn't tell if it was the one, if that makes sense.
Well, the one that went the most viral is just really good propaganda, Carmen. I mean, it's just unbelievable. So it starts off with a Native American, and his village is burned behind him, and he looks up at the sky, and then it kind of fades into that same type of person, and it says under it, like Nagasaki with the year, and it's a child with another child on his back, and the atom bomb has destroyed his city behind him. And then it cuts to Vietnam, and it's a person with the hat looking, and they're all looking up like they're looking at bombs. There's smoke, everything is destroyed. And then it goes to several Middle Eastern stops, Lebanon, Gaza, and then it ends with Iran. And then it fades to their top general doing the same thing, looking up. And then it fades to the Ayatollah, the new one. And then they like look pretty fucking hard at the camera. And then you follow a rocket, like from a video game, like you've got that view, like point of view with just the front of the rocket. And then it hits the Statue of Liberty. But the Statue of Liberty has Baphomet as a head.
I'm watching it right now. Wow.
I mean, you gotta all every headless bow.
How bad as a country do you gotta fuck up when your own people are going, man, our opposition is spitting, dog.
Dude, just spitting. I mean, you watch it, and then dude, the rap song Brian, my husband Brian just works for the government. Brian's like not a comedian. He's not trying to be funny. He was like, dude, I was looking at it on my phone, and then I got in the car or whatever, and I plugged my phone in. I wasn't watching it anymore, and the music was just playing. It's a banger. Like, I was just driving to work, fucking bobbing my head to the music video. That one's good because it's got Trump in it, and he looks like a Lego.
Oh, man. That's so great. Oh, I see. Miga. Wow.
Pretty good, right?
Yeah.
That's so much better than whatever our propaganda is, which as best I can tell is just like saying that the markets are going to be fine and that there's not going to be an oil crisis and that we're winning a war, but we're not in war.
Yeah, we're not at war, but if we were in one, we're doing great in it.
But yeah, you know, me and Bori were also talking about that. Love that guy. Obviously,
oh my God, truly, if you guys have never watched the stand-up of David Bori, please do. And that's David, Gborie, please. So fucking funny.
We were talking about how, and we were both saying, and because we mean it, not because we were trying to be woke, like, this isn't what matters, but it is interesting that it's no longer like conjectured change and fascism for me and him even. He was supposed to fly out on Sunday, didn't make it. Came back, flew out with me on Monday. We had breakfast together. because of the TSA shutdowns, and then the fact that we saw ICE, like the fascism it affected our lives directly, you know. And then I'm trying to get a house right now. The interest rates started to dip. Now they're skyrocketing because of the war.
Yep.
And then I'm also, some of my advisors are like, I think you should wait if you can, because this war is going to knock us off an economic cliff. And as long as you don't get fired, we're either going to be able to buy a lot more house for that money or get a much sweeter deal on the ones you're looking at. Because eventually the rates are going to plummet and people aren't going to be able to jack their prices up because there's going to be no buyers.
Yep.
What a wild thing to be factoring into probably the second or third biggest decision I've ever made.
Yeah.
And if anyone listening isn't from America, I'm sure a lot of you are like, yeah, welcome to life outside of your fucking bubble. Sure. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but also, you know, it's bad when a real estate agent is like, well, did you ever think of maybe waiting until the economic collapse to purchase? It might be cheaper then.
It wasn't the agent, but that's very funny. It's very funny to just be like, here at Athens Homes and Property, we think of every angle. You know, if you sign up for ICE now, we can direct that bonus right into a Roth IRA that we can borrow on with no penalty to make your down payment.
That is, like, I do see like bros online, you know, whenever I start looking at home related stuff, the algorithm will start spitting all this home stuff, like how you can, you know, you can buy homes that are foreclosed on and you get the note for super cheap or what they owe and stuff. So you can get like $150,000 house for $2,000 or $5,000 or something like that. And then they're like, and then you could just set it up and basically sell it to BlackRock essentially. And you can make $2,000 off of selling this, blah blah blah, getting this home sold technically to you, and then you reselling it to BlackRock for more money. And it was like, oh, okay, so now we're making money off the fact that people can't even afford the homes that they have, and perpetuating how bad things get. It's just always like, it seems like this country has get rich quicked itself into this situation. That's the accelerant, 100%. I think, outside of, like, you know, the powers that be. And who was I talking to the other day? We were talking about I think we were just talking about politicians having always been bad and how it's corruption is bipartisan, we were getting into that. And I think we were talking about I think I was talking about how Clinton wasn't, because everybody's always talks about how like things were a lot better when Clinton was in office, and then I always bring up the 1994 crime bill and how it wasn't, and how it was still just as bad, just as racist and blah blah blah, and I was like, but at that time, that was when the CEI was at its prime. Like, think about it, like the CIA in the 90s was fucking spitting, dog. Like, that's why we got that big huge wave of like espionage movies and spy movies and all that other shit, grandizing what the CIA does, making them seem cooler than they were while they were doing all of the things that are happening in this AI generated video by
That's because they knew they were about to do 9/11. They were like, listen, we're about to turn on our own people. We got to get, but I can give us a runway if I make everybody love us. And I mean, that's quite literally what Fox News has been for half the country. I mean, to some extent, CNN too. Before we get out of here, this is related to that. What about them raising the age to 42 that you can enlist? I got to hear less, Carm. What if you had a fetish? I mean, millennials are so fucking weird sexually. How many dudes are like, so man in uniform is going to yell at me and I have to make my bed and live with other dudes? Like, how many fucking, you know what I'm saying? I think there's a kink aspect.
It sounds like all of the politicians should. It sounds like the entire RNC should be going.
Well, if you're trying to tell me that the entire Republican Party should sign up for war, yeah, we've all been saying that.
But I mean, for a sexual reason, not for a righteous reason.
Well, okay, my big pitch is some politician who does not have kids, and I think it's funnier that way. Should put forth a bill that before we do the draft, every congressperson has to agree that their kids are first. and it should be someone without kids.
Mm-hmm.
Because then the politicians with kids will be like, this fucking hypocrite is trying to get me to send my kids. Well, he don't have no skin in the game, or she. And then that childless politician can be like, so now you see why America has a problem with what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see that theater play out, Carmen. I think
if you brainwash your kid enough, you do send your kid to war, and you do, because then you got the pride. I mean, the pride is just as.
If there's a Republican named John Mark Wayne Wendell or whatever, from Oklahoma, who's like, I'll call your bluff, you childless cat lady bitch.
Mm-hmm.
I'll send both my boys. I can live with that. We're getting a draft either way. I can live with that. If they'll do it, like if they'll be like, fine, we'll fucking do it. I'm fine with that.
Is there such a thing as a nationwide draft dodge? Can the entire country just refuse?
Oh, like a strike? Damn, the army went on strike. I mean, no, it's illegal, but if everybody did it, what would they do?
I mean, fucking kids is illegal, Drew.
Man, but she has a good point. She has a good point, folks.
I'm just saying, if you're not even adhering to the rules that you put in place, I mean, you're giving me no example to go by. That's the whole thing about
you
corruption.
Could be arrested for it, but to your point, if everyone did it, then only a few people would be arrested.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, also, I wonder what the precedent of the Muhammad Ali case is. I think it was like, if you have strong religious beliefs against this, you can get out of it. Well, dude,
ultimately, we just needed to do from it all goes back to our genesis. We need to start a religion.
We did,
and everyone that doesn't want to go to war could join our religion, and then our religion never has to go to war.
Eat fruit and fuck.
Eat fruit and fuck.
And then, like, we also had a rule that we didn't talk about, but we always had it: don't go to war.
Mm-hmm. Eat fruit, fuck, and don't go to war in small print.
In small print. We small printed that one because we wanted to see who was really paying attention. It's like Bon Jovi with the M&Ms.
Yeah.
And whoever it was. It's like, if we catch one of you going to war after we got done eating fruit and fucking, we're going to know you weren't really involved in this religion. You weren't reading the fine print.
That's true. You didn't read your text. You didn't read your religious text.
Well, it's fun because what else are we going to do? It's funny because what else are we going to do but laugh? But like, man, we're talking about having a draft.
Yeah.
We're talking about staring down the barrel of an oil crisis that is coming regardless. I mean, if it stopped today, we'd still have a pretty major economic dip. It would take us months, if nothing else, because they blew up so much infrastructure.
Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, though, is we've had a clean alternative for years, and the oil industry has been stifling it. So does that mean we could finally run vehicles on hemp and fucking vegetable oil and all this other shit?
Yeah, but we don't have the vehicles for it, nor the infrastructure to provide everyone with said vehicles, and or the adaptation, nor do we have that fuel. And because this is how evil they are and how smart they are, it's not just that they stymied it. Like, so now it's like we don't have it. It's also that they know that we're a decade away from it. They stopped it 10 years before we could actually pull it off. So now if we said, let's implement it, at least 5 years.
Yeah.
Because you're not just talking about me and you buying an adapter for our cars, and also on some of the new ones, it wouldn't work. You'd have to have an old car with a fucking catalytic converter, if I'm not mistaken. We're also talking about, though, like planes, big rigs. Trains are about to make a comeback. Don't take stock advice from me ever, but invest in a fucking railroad right now.
CSX.
Norfolk Southern paid for my college education. It might pay for Rozzie's.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I don't have a solution.
There's no.
So buy train stock if you can. Because we also might be traveling around the country via train with a bindle attached.
Yeah, I'm going to be bindled up, dude. All right, we missed DJ this week. Uh-oh. What's that?
Producer Mark said yes, buy train stock.
Mark may or may not also be in the train business. He did not pay me to make that. Fuck, I should have arranged that beforehand. I could have already been making money off the trains. We miss DJ. We love you, buddy. I will be in Denver this weekend. So the day this comes out, I'm going to be at the Denver Comedy Lounge. 2 shows Friday, 3 shows Saturday, I think is how it goes. Go to the Denver Comedy Lounge's website. I'm on all the shows. After that, I got Bristol coming up, I want to say in May, but I'm taking it easy otherwise. I love you guys. Carmen?
I will be in Alexandria. Actually, tonight, when you guys see this, I will be in Winchester, Virginia at the Bright Box Theater. And then on Sunday, I will be at Cellar Door in Frederick, Maryland. I will be in Washington, D.C., April 1st through the 12th at the D.C. Comedy Loft.
The 1st through the 12th?
No, the 10th through the 12th. Sorry. Did I say the 1st? My bad.
Yeah, I was like, damn, bitch got a fucking...
residency?
Yeah. I almost said sabbatical. I was like, opposite of that.
But that does help me. April 1st through the 8th, I will be in Los Angeles, California doing stand-up. If you want to hit me up, I got shows there every night. Maybe too many to list. I'm doing a Don't Tell. I'm doing Jesus Trejo's storytelling show where I'm going to be doing the story where I become a bootlicker, the one you guys all know. Funchadelic on April 5th at the Hollywood Improv, Super Bloom on April 6th, and Flappers Comedy Club on April 7th. And then last 2 that I'll mention is I'll be in Arlington, Virginia, April 24th, and Bethesda, Maryland, April 25th. Get all of your Carmen Morales needs at carmenmorales.com. We have a pretty cool guest set up for you guys for next week. I'm pretty stoked about it. He's the head of a nonprofit in South Carolina that does sliding scale mental health outreach, which I think would be rad. Especially people in the area don't have access to that. It would be very helpful.
Hell yeah. And on that note, if anyone has any thoughts one way or the other on how we've been doing things with our guests, let us know. If you're like, hey, maybe 30 minutes, or hey, fucking do it every week. We're tired of hearing y'all talk to each other about the same 4 fucking things anyway. We would love to hear any and all that. All right, I gotta go. I gotta get on the road. I gotta get to Nashville 9 hours early to get in line for the airport.
Nice.
I love you guys. Bye.
Love you too. Bye.
You could stick a whole ribeye in one of your back pockets. Like,